to another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. My name's Caleb. He's Mark. And what's going on?
All kinds of good stuff.
Stuff?
Yeah. It's been kind of a hectic week or so with everything we've been working on.
Yeah, we took last week off. Last Thursday of the year, we broke our streak, unfortunately, but it was for good reason. We were getting a lot of things done. Figured we'd take the week off, come back fresh in the new year. If I sound a little odd, my voice is a little gone, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to make you do most of the talking today, so
really
that works out for me. So yeah, you want to just go ahead and dive right in, talk about some of the stuff we've been working on, and it seems like a lot's happened in the past week.
Yeah, it has. Well, we got you a new toy, a new tractor, little subcompact that it's a specific purposes. One is helps us do some work on the greens and tiller for the sand trap. So we have that on property. Let's see what else. And you've already been out on it a couple of times, right?
I've gotten it stuck once, briefly.
First time, right?
First time. You got to break it in a little bit.
I think that's when I tried to explain to you it's a tractor, not a tank.
All right. There was a lot of brush covering a poorly put drain. That is not my fault, but I got it out. That's all that matters. It only took me a couple seconds to figure out how to get it in four-wheel drive. So
it's a nice little John Deere, 24, 25 horse, something like that.
24, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's exactly what we needed for the property. So we've got that. Now that's in-house. We don't have to wait for things to happen. We can just, when we need to do it, we can do it, which is critical now that we're trying to get ready for spring. Monday we are scheduled to pick up a sprayer.
What do you want to explain for anyone listening, not watching? You did do air quotes with your fingers.
Yes, I did.
This is a podcast, which is generally an audio medium.
How long has it been scheduled?
Yeah,
and rescheduled.
It happens.
It's so that's probably even more important than the tractor to be able to. We've contracted, and we'll still be contracting until we get our license. But at the same time, having the sprayer on site, it means we can respond immediately instead of trying to schedule out front. For example, we've discussed, that the winter weather here goes from 35 to 75.
Oh, it did more of a jump than that. Yeah, we had 3 weeks of freeze followed by summer, essentially.
Wasn't it like -5 or something, wind chill one night?
It was brutal. And that was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is pretty odd. But
it's like the middle of that, it jumps up to 75 for a couple of days, and all of a sudden things pop up like Poe on the greens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of our plan. Is we've said this many times over and over. It's the turf's more of a long-term project that you just have to stay on top of it, and you can improve it. You can make a difference. In fact, talking with one of our guys, there's a lot of just manual labor involved this summer of airifying the tee boxes and top dressing the tee boxes, making them better. That's just actually getting out there and doing it. Whereas our real focus beyond the normal stuff like that is really focusing on the greens when we get into growing season, to where we have a specific plan of attack and we stay on a schedule and we go after it. And again, with the equipment we're bringing in, that's why we're bringing in specifically that equipment for that task. So it's kind of exciting thinking, okay, because you're walking the club, people walking in the clubhouse now, and they're saying, oh my goodness, after the 25-year anniversary of the green stained carpet in the clubhouse, we now have new flooring, which is, the sound might be a little different in here because we don't have carpet anymore.
You might have to invest in some rugs. That might be smart.
At least some runners to absorb some of this. But it's like, it absolutely, it looks like a gymnasium.
Well,
it's bizarre.
I think 3 times you've called me and you're like, why does it seem bigger in here? It's just like, it's because it's new.
We could actually put in a basketball court. I'm convinced of it.
I don't think that's true,
But it's really, as I explained to someone a couple of days ago, it's like, it's in our property, our strategy is we want to be proud of it. Mm-hmm. So we do what makes us proud of the property and improving it. If someone else doesn't like that or appreciate it, that's up to them. It's like, but most of the time, improving the property, people recognize it, they enjoy it, and they appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, it's those long-term improvement things that, we're able to do a little bit more of now. But it's also, to me, it's like my day was essentially putting the course back together after 3 inches of rain yesterday, kind of hit us out of nowhere. And it's like all day I was thinking about, it's like, okay, there's this I want to do on the tractor. There's this I want to do on the tractor. But it's like, no, this is the stuff that has to be taken care of first. It's not the fun stuff. It's not the stuff that's the biggest deal in the world, but it's the kind of stuff that we have to do and stay on top of. You've talked to me a lot about, it's great when we get new things, but maintaining those things is just as important, because if you don't pay attention to the details, wiping things down or, refurbishing things, refinishing things, it's like that becomes the old stuff really fast.
Right.
And, the longer that you can keep that, that's important.
Right. Well, a prime example of just, the chairs we put out on the range, the putting green, and at the clubhouse outside. It's like if you just buy them and put them out there and you don't maintain them, it's like, a year and a half later, it's like it looks like junk.
Yeah.
But if you take care of it properly, it's just like the floor. I told someone today, it's like, yeah, you hope it looks great for 6 or 7, 8 years, and then you do it again. Mm-hmm. It's not forever, but it gets closer to forever the better you take care of things,
right.
Which is, that's the way I was taught early on in this. So, and it's true. And that's what that helps you do is be more cost effective.
Yeah.
In keeping, it's like, the big news is we raised the price $1. And some people didn't like that, but we offered a program that would actually save them money, but they couldn't calculate that. But as I've said, in looking at our numbers, I believe our inflation rate on what we have to spend our money on is 23%.
Yeah.
So we actually raised our price about 3.3% compared to 23% cost increase.
Yeah.
So I think we've been generous in trying to maintain value.
Hey, even I didn't believe that it was true, and I found out for myself when I got yelled at for buying the expensive Christmas boxes. I was told to go to the Dollar Tree and get the $1 ones. They're not $1 anymore. It's $1.25. I had no idea that was actually true.
23%.
Yeah, that's
yeah. It's interesting right now. And it's not just us. It's all businesses are challenged. Mm-hmm. It's hard for restaurants to charge you $16, $18 for a burger and fries, but guess what? They're not doing it because they want to drive you away. It's just to stay in business. That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, equipment wise, it's been kind of exciting for us, and it's like I kind of feel like, outside of a few small things, we have what we need now in place.
Oh, I have a very long list of dream items.
Yeah, really.
I have several websites open at all times with full carts, so I like the save for later option. That's always good. But no, I know what you mean. It's like, thinking back 6 months, 12 months, the list of things that we needed to be able to get stuff done on a daily basis was so long. And now it's, we're pretty well set up. It's like, are there things that I'd like to have that would make things a little bit easier? It's like, sure, here and there. But for the most part, it's like, I think we're pretty well set up.
I would love to have the brand new chainsaw that disappeared that we never used, that we purchased.
We still have the box for it.
We have a lot of use for it right now. So
I can give you the box.
As I've said before, hey, bring it back and I'll give you the instruction manual with it.
Yeah, that's still hard to believe, That's on me. I didn't have the cameras in place at the time, but don't worry, they're there now. We'll watch you.
Never used it. That amazes me. That's never. I've been doing this a long time. it's never used it. That hasn't happened. It's like, take it from the store before we get it, at least.
But realistically, besides a chainsaw, what is there any one big thing in your mind that you think we need? Because there's one big thing to me that isn't a short term thing, but I think eventually down the road would be very nice to have.
And that would be
an improved irrigation system.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
That's not a piece of equipment. That's just, you live with that.
Yeah.
If you want to put a new we would have to spend $150,000 to $250,000.
Oh, that's way lower than I was expecting.
Completely redoing it, you're
Yeah.
$1.5 million.
Yeah.
But with what we have in place, 150, 200 would get it to where you could go to sleep at night and not wonder what happened. But that's just a part of it. So many golf courses are in that same situation. It's just part of what you deal with. You have a shovel and, you have duct tape and you know what? You buy small parts and you keep it going and, you hope we can get everything wet on the golf course when you need to, which we still can't. There's still spots out there we can't get to.
We're pretty close. I was actually looking at that the other day. We're pretty close.
We are. Compared to where we were at.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, wow.
I remember the day that I finished changing the last bad green side head, and it felt like such an accomplishment. It was like, wow, our greens are fine. We can get water on all our greens.
It's like we can now get the same volume of water on a green in probably 7 or 8 minutes that we were doing 20 to 25 minutes before.
Yeah.
Just the improvement. So it's come a long way, just like everything, but it's like, compared to where you want to be,
yeah,
it's still an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So, that's what you deal with. And that's the hardest part is the patience.
Yeah. And I spend all my time looking at pictures of golf courses
that aren't patient. They have checkbooks.
Yeah. That have waiting lists. That's
you look at the
fault.
wrong golf courses.
No, I look at the right golf courses. So no one big thing in your mind? Outside of the obvious.
Yeah, not really. There's a couple of pieces of equipment I would like to have new instead of what we have that, you could get on it and you can go and it does a great job and you don't have to wonder if halfway through it you're going to have to get under it or start over.
You mean starting, having to jump the battery at 5 a.m. when it's, 35 degrees. Yeah,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But since I haven't had to mow greens for a while, it's like,
you don't care.
I'm fine with that.
As long as it's not you. Yeah.
But that's kind of like the golf course situation right now. It's what it is. And that's why we're so eager to get to the growing season because, we have a maintenance building full of fertilizer for the fairways that we haven't been able to hit yet. Having a sprayer, being able to get our pre-emerge out when we want to, and then to follow up spraying that we haven't been able to do. So a lot of that stuff, and we're kind of hoping that the price of sod comes back down to earth to where it's not.
Or even the availability of sod.
My God, being able to find it.
Yeah.
We can pick it up ourselves instead of $3,000 delivery charge. So it's like all of those things factor in. And we're now our 15th month of waiting for our new carts.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something you forget about until you get in a cart and think, gee, I hope this makes it.
Yeah. Why is that red light staying on?
The windshields are faded, the seats are torn, and we've done everything we can to keep them going. And it's just like, please get the new cart. Just presentation-wise alone. Yeah. Not even factoring in the comfort and enjoyment of having the new cart and using it. Just the whole appearance of it on the property would be dramatic.
Yeah.
So that's I'm hoping for March, April at the latest is kind of my goal. So
that'd be nice.
I would think a year and a half is enough patience for us. We should be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I'm trying to figure out which one I should be doing. Just have one thought no matter what happens. And at the end of the day, you're going to get better. It's that simple.
I saw something the other day that I thought you would enjoy. I don't remember what website it was, but it was the 18 best online lessons to improve your game. It's like I realized not only is this an online lesson, but it's an article about an online lesson. It's like, this is so self-involved. It's unbelievable. I thought you would appreciate it.
And I've said many times, it's like, yes, I've done little instruction tips online, but real golf instruction that impacts you, it has to be personalized to you.
Right.
Now, to me, the only thing I've ever done that with are some basics that everyone should be doing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't think you can do it unless you personalize it to the individual. So that's what we try to do. And it's free. So hoping some people show up. They usually do. And it's that's, if there's one thing I really enjoy, I enjoy doing that, because it's fun to show someone something and it works, and they say, wow, that was pretty neat. And it helps them. Now, does that make you a better golfer? Maybe not. Makes it more enjoyable, because being a better golfer has to do with your score. And having a better score is a lot different than having a better swing.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Just because you're hitting the ball better doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go from shooting 120 to shooting 95. It can help, but it certainly makes it a lot more fun. So that's kind of the goal. And we can give that to every person that shows up. We can show you something that's like, here's something that's going to help you. You just make sure you focus on it. Yeah. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. It's like they try it once, well, that didn't fix everything, so I'm going to watch another video.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's where it goes a lot of times, and that's okay too.
Well, and you say that, and this is slightly going off topic a little bit. It's on topic, but it's not totally on topic. But you'll see where I'm going with this. When you say that about, the personalization, that everyone, it needs to be personal to their swing and their game and so on and so forth, is like, I've heard you say that a million times, and it has always made sense in my brain, just because of you helping me and working with me on stuff. But why is golf, so much more different in that it is kind of and it's like, I know there's basic structures of a swing, but it does feel so much more personal than trying to teach someone how to throw a football. It's like, really, there's only a couple different ways to throw a football. Is it the extension? Is it the overall larger range of motion in a golf swing? Why is it something that is more personal, dependent on the person?
Well, I think it's more the activity than is actually the golf swing in motion, because, in fact, I think I was talking to someone today about the challenge is I can hand you a ball and you throw it, and you're not thinking, okay, what's the angle of my wrist while I throw it? Because it's just a response. You're not creating. The problem with golf is you have that time standing there, nothing's happening until you create it. So that's why it's so personal, that your creativity is based on who you are, your size, your attitude, your emotions, the way you approach things, and everyone's a little different. They have different combinations of that. It's like I work with someone and it's like, I can tell they're very impatient, and that impacts the way you teach them. Just the opposite is true. So you have to factor that in, as well as someone's tall, someone's short, someone's more flexible. All those things factor into that personality of your golf swing. But I think the biggest issue is, especially for anyone that's athletic at all, is the fact that you don't get to react. Most of your athletic ability surfaces in your reaction, and that being able to create that reaction to a situation, whether it's swinging a baseball bat or ball in motion, or throwing a football or catching it, you're reacting to what's going on. Whereas golf, that ball's stationary, and you have to start from scratch to create that motion without it being in process for you. So to me, that's why it has to be personalized, because that golfer standing over the ball is going to create that from scratch. So all of that personality is going to surface in how they do that. And as an instructor and a teacher and a coach, you have to be able to see that to make that as simple as possible for them. If you're taking the wrong approach with someone who's very aggressive as opposed to someone who's very patient, that's totally opposite approaches they have. And you have to understand that as an instructor. That's why I'm not a fan of, oh, here's a golf instruction video that's going to show you how to do it. You know, some people can, some people can't. Hopefully you fit in that, but if you don't, you're frustrated. So that's why I say I always like to give everyone one thing they can think about. That, you know, and then if they stick with that and it gets better, then guess what? You can go a little further and you can add one more thing. And you build a golf swing and playing golf. So to me, that's the personality of the golf swing, and that's what's critical. You know, I learned how to play golf on the playground. I had a 7-iron, and that was great when I started. But after 6 months to a year of that, I was in the playground 3 years before I ever got on the golf course. Well, what happened, I went from hitting that 7-iron 50 yards to hitting it 130 yards. Now I had to adjust my swing, and everyone when I was playing golf was like, why is your swing so short? And I never thought about it. And then I realized I had to shorten my swing to play golf in the schoolyard because it would be in the cornfield or in someone's house. You know, and we had probably the max was 100 yards you could hit it. And it's like, okay, now I'm hitting a 7-iron 120 yards. I have to change that. Yeah. And I created holes from tree to tree, and most of them were 30 to 60 yards. And I had one club. So I learned how to swing that shot. So now it's like if someone came to me 5 years later and said, well, we have to extend your swing. Oh my gosh, I would have been horrified. I mean, it would have been dramatic. So that's what happened to my golf swing. And that's why it's kind of like, and that can happen physically to someone. People don't have the physical flexibility to do certain things that an instructor would say, well, you need to do this. Well, you need to get it parallel. You can't even get close to that, you know? So there's all kinds of things that factor in to a golf swing. And that's why, you know, if you really want to learn how to play golf, you know, there's a lot of good golf instructors out there. And just let them know, it's like, hey, show me one thing that's going to help me. You know, I don't want to be in your program. I don't want to be in your system. What's one thing you can show me that's going to help me with my golf swing? And start from there. It's that simple. That's why when people come to me, it's like, I'm going to show you something. You need to go spend 4 or 6 weeks on. Yeah. That's if you're going to practice it, you know, before we need to add anything. You know, so that's kind of my approach. And again, that's why I like to do this like Saturday morning, the free clinic. It's like, I enjoy showing people one thing. As I've said before, I have a hard time getting bored in lessons. Because in the first 3 minutes, I'm going to tell you, here's what you need to do. I don't want to stand there and watch you for the next 42 minutes doing it. It's like, no, that's up to you. Because I also show people, here's how to check yourself. I give them something in showing them that what they're trying to do is, if you end up here, or if this happens, that means you did it right. So you can check yourself whether you did it right. That means, and the reason I do that is so I don't have to stand there and watch you.
And it's really annoying because it works. Because I know exactly what I'm doing wrong. You know, I'm like immediately, I'm just like, why did I do that? It's immediate.
When I've always said, in fact, I told someone today, someone was saying, oh, it's miserable out there. I said, well, the worst thing that can happen to you on a golf course, I've always said this, is hitting a great shot and having no idea what happened. It's true. It's like, oh my goodness, what happened? How do I do that? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you're talking about, you know, the difference in creation of motion as opposed to reaction, I was thinking, oh, it's more like kicking a field goal. And then I realized I don't want to think about kicking field goals. That wound is still too fresh for me. So on that note,
you ended on a bad note.
Yeah, that sent me down a rabbit hole. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here. It's getting late. Thanks for listening.